Hello, wonderful people. Um, Good morning to you all. It is still me, Asos General Peters, the voice of the people, the voice of God, the voice of our ancestors. We are back again, as usual, every Monday, 11 to 12 noon. Yes, I'm here to remind you of the mandate and why we are doing what we are doing, and why this campaign and this sensitization is crucial for the survival of our people and for a better society. I want to remind you that this program is directed to empower the people with the right information and also as a rallying point to organize the people. I want to also remind you that this program is brought to you and sponsored by BVI Channel 1. BVI Channel 1 is a global social media platform that is reaching the world, changing lives, speaking the truth the way it is, concentrating on development of Africa and the freedom of the people. Yes, you have to understand that when we talk about freedom of the people, the freedom of black race, and freedom of everyone that have found himself in Nigeria. Like I always say, Nigerians are victims of Nigeria. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter whether you are Oduduwa, Arewa, or Biafra. As long as you are in Nigeria, as long as you are a Nigerian, you're a victim. Likewise, many African countries that have suffered the impact of colonization and neo-colonization as we are witnessing today. And overall, the reason why we are here is to address bad governance. That is why they call BVI Channel 1 Good Governance Ministry. Because here we preach the gospel of good governance. Just like our churches, yesterday we have gone to church, we have been admonished to live a worthy life so that after life you have a place in heaven. Likewise, we are preaching that while we are here on earth, we need to live a worthy life as humans and not like animals. Don't also forget that we are organizing the people under the platform People's Restoration Movement. It is a movement. The movement that is organizing the people, conscientizing the people, repositioning the mind of the people to take their lives back, to take their destiny back. And upon that mandate, we say it is time for the people to organize themselves. And we are going to be focused on a very important question. And I expect everyone who will be calling into today's program to answer that question, so that it will not be a mere assumption. Because you have to understand that those in government are already seated and listening to this program. What have you benefited from government since you were born? What will you say that if not for government, I wouldn't have gotten to this level of life? Or what have government been doing in your life directly as an individual to improve your safety, to encourage your business, to create an enabling environment for businesses to strive, the provision of medical service and other social securities? What have government done for you? What have you benefited from government? That is what we will be getting the response from you when we open up the phone lines. I must tell you this. that as a person, I can barely lay my hands on anything that I will say I benefited this from government. These government policies have enabled me to achieve this. Right from my childhood now to my adult age, I will not say that this is exactly what government have made us to achieve, or me as a person made me to achieve. If not for individual efforts of parents, relatives, and kind-hearted people, many of us will never attain wherever we have attained today. Unlike in the past, because People's Restoration Movement is here to restore the dignity of humanity, because that have completely been, taken away from the people. The dignity of lives, the dignity of human being, it has been taken away. Government is meant to serve the aspiration of the people. That's why they provide, or they are meant to provide, enabling environment for your businesses to strive. That is why they are there to set up institutions, make policies and programs that will enable the people to tap into what government is doing, and you can say for sure that you have benefited this from the government. And at one time, many of them attended public. I could remember in the early 80s, private schools is something like a mirage. It's something like, how many persons know about private schools? Private hospitals, no. Everything is about a standard. We are working. And these people in government today, or those that are already retired, posing as godfathers, they are all beneficiaries of the system that once worked. Remember, that was even during the time of colonization, though. Then after colonization, things continue to degenerate. Up to this point, nothing has gotten. This is why we have committed ourselves to this course, to organize the people, mash the brake, and hit the reverse gear to restore back the dignity of lives. Today, have no value. If you speak the truth, you will be regarded as a slave, as a nobody. If you are not perfect in stealing, diverting public funds, taking advantage of your position in the society under public trust, nobody will regard you as anything. Even your own mona will tell you that this one, now a slave. And somebody will tell you that will go against you. Now we are asking, if we really take go like a government. Mekandia no chichi tata. Elisgulu niile tam okpukpo di n'enue. Fe elisagulu di n'enue tam okpukpo di n'enue. They have bastardized, they have destroyed institution of public governance. The institutions of government, the public institutions have been destroyed. Today, it is the private sector that is setting the standard for the government sector or for public sector. It's an aberration. And that is why impunity have continued to strive in Nigeria. This is one reason why things will continue to degenerate in our society. Because when these public institutions have failed, which is as a result of bad governance by wicked, corrupt political class, they have plundered and diverted public funds meant for your education, meant for your medical service, meant for your security, meant to encourage your businesses and create enabling environment for your business to strive. Because they have done so, now everybody is now dependent on the private sector, which many of them, the same people, set up. They set up, or their contacts or their relations or their affiliates set up the private sector to run the schools, to run the hospitals, and other public utilities. Now, an average person, the ones they categorize under the poor masses, cannot access the basics of life amenities. That is why everything has gone haywire. That is why everybody's struggling, cutting corners. That is why corruption will never die. As the more you fight corruption in Nigeria, the more it deepens. Because those in government have sabotaged the public institutions, beginning with your schools. Those of you listening to the sound of my voice, how many of you can hit your chest and say your child is attending a public school as we speak? Public schools are now left for the very last persons on the society, even the maids. Public school. That is the mindset of so many families. On that public school. While now na private school. Very unfortunate. It is because they start. I remember that at that time, I mean, the First Republic, even during the colonization, many of these people attended public school, were high standard. The children of the rich, the children of the poor attend the same school, have the same teachers. Many of them even went to school on scholarship, free education. Today, it has all been destroyed. Now everybody now struggle. Everybody now struggle so that your child can have good education. You have to take your child to private school. So that you can have good healthcare service, you must take your children and your wards and your family to private hospitals, which are very expensive. How many can afford? So that is why you see everybody. That is the problem. And that is why things are falling apart. And these people, they don't want it to end. No. They don't. They want the status quo to continue the same. They don't want it to change. No. How can they? But it's the responsibility of the people to fix this. And that is why we're here. That is our mission. To fix the government. We can attest to the fact that the government have failed. You can prove me wrong by calling this line. Let any of the government affiliates or government representative come up to say, this is what we have been doing and this is the direct impact the people have been benefiting from it. Or on a newspaper and on the media. No, we are not here for propaganda. We are here for facts and figures. Now, let me tell you. Immediately I graduated from University of Wales. Back in London, I set up my small business. I registered it. It didn't take me much. In less than a month, when I opened my company's account in the UK there, the first thing I started receiving is assistance from bank as a result of the policies of government to make sure that small businesses strive, because they understand that when you succeed in your business, you will employ more people and take more people out of the street. But here, they don't think about it. Look at, a lot of things have been taken away from government responsibility by the people. Nobody can come to you now and say, hey, I'll come and fire you and water you during election. Now, especially in this part of the world, in our homeland here, in Igbo land especially. Because everybody is sinking boreholes. But do you know that even governments, despite the fact that they have failed to provide public water service for the people, do you know the amount of money they are charging the people who sank boreholes? Especially those that are selling in their communities. Now you can imagine the condition of a woman, a retired woman who is yet to receive her pension over the years, which maybe her pensions have been denied of her because somebody have diverted it. Maybe as a result of maybe the struggling of the children or the family, they are able to sink borehole. Maybe let the woman be using the 10 naira, 5 naira they are getting from the water this thing to service herself and take care of herself. If I tell you the amount of money government is charging them, yet they have not provided it too. Because I remember growing up here in Onitsha, pump namba, and where water works. What happened to it? The other time I heard someone saying that they are going to protest, those ones that are selling borehole, that they are going to close up for 1 week. You can imagine what will happen in Onitsha if all the people that are selling boreholes closes up and say they are not selling again for 1 week. Thank God for some of the new buildings that will go out of their way to sink boreholes for the residents. What about those who depend on these boreholes? What have government added as a value? What is government doing to encourage your small-scale business? You must call us today to tell us how they are helping your business to boost. What they are good at is to take, and not giving back. It's unfortunate. Someone was telling me a story of how government have given out contracts for revenue drive. And the shocking aspect of it is that some people buy this slot very cheap as 100,000 naira, and they will now go out and start molesting, harassing people on the street in the name of drive for revenue. And most of this money to private purses. Who will be suffering? The people. I recall that one woman, a respected woman, at the mother, but when she was, venting her anger, I was opportunity to be passing through that area. And she was saying and lamenting to the people who came to lock up all the shops there. Sealed everywhere up because they've not paid whatever revenue drive they are going for. And the woman was bold enough. She is educated, enlightened, exposed. She spoke. Why will you lock up my shop? An old woman like me. I have worked as a manager. The woman was saying, I worked as a manager in Nigeria Airways. I will call it defunct. I don't know whether it still existing. All their pensions, they shall not receive her pension. Now, this small shop that she's using to hold herself together, that the government have not even come to say, how are you doing? Now, the thing they are coming to do is to lock up her shop. Now, you can now ask, what will be the fate of that woman and the rest of other people? That's what we're asking. What have you benefited from government, even as it today? Okay, now the one that we're talking about, COVID-19, since it started. Our government are good in copying. They copied everything. Britain, Sierra, lock up, they lock up. Lock down, they lock down. Nose mask, they nose mask. Social distancing, they do social distancing. They copy everything verbatim with double quick match. But they will not copy social security. They will not copy medical insurance for the people. They will not set up a proper database to capture everyone within their territory so that they will be able to drive the revenue. You have a system where everybody gets to pay his tax, and it will be remitted in the government purse, through which they will use to service the healthcare sector, to service the educational sector, and other infrastructural development. They will not do that. If you go into government, you will understand that the government all the bags of the government all the places where they are capturing the revenue, everything is open, and they left it like that intentionally. That is the avenue where they suck out public funds. Because if you have a proper data, you know the number of people, at least to a large extent, within your jurisdiction. You will be able to make proper plans and budgets and capture all these things in. You'll be able to affect life, improve lives. But here, reverse is the case. They don't care, because they are benefiting from. In fact, they are working so hard to go into government to benefit from the failed system. But that is why we are here. Why we are here? That is why we are here, to organize the people. We need to mash the brake. You cannot undermine, overemphasize the power of the people when they are united, especially on a cause. Now, somebody asked me, why are you not talking about anti-open grazing? Is that it? Is that everything? Is that the whole thing about just open grazing? No, I said no. But we have a reason to make that our first mandate. And the reason being that it is only when you feed well that you can talk about any other thing. In fact, if you get sick and you go to hospital, they will not administer drugs to you. They will ask you, have you eaten? You have to eat first. So that one is number one. And what we are facing in our homeland today is a situation where we are having food crisis already. And as usual, your governments they don't care. They don't care. Nothing bothers them. No, nothing bothers them. They're only interested in servicing their pockets. But that is what we are here to address. And I must tell you, what we are doing here is our civic right. In fact, you are doing yourself a big disservice if you don't join this movement. In fact, it should be it amounts to sabotage to the system if you don't join this movement. It amounts to sabotage to government if you don't join this movement. Do you know why? Because the people, now then be the proper government. Because without the people, there is nothing like governance. The people you have as political class are public servants. They are supposed to serve you. How can you employ somebody to serve you and the person is doing anything at will, even against you, and you keep quiet? They have hypnotized you. Akwadocha ejebe avia nwa boy anyalu moto jewalo o ga-agbalu keke na abia avia eluzie nwa boy na agwa oga ife o ga-eme obozi o ga na agwazi nwa boy ife o ga-eme. That is what it looks like in this case. Do you know why? They have used hunger and poverty to hypnotize the people. Okay, for many people have sold out. They have given up. In fact, if you're trying to say, they say Nara address this issue. You can imagine their mindset. This is the biggest problem. And they're catching in on that. They like hearing it. I mean, you're very oppressors. The very people that are supposed to serve you. So that is why we are here. To organize, to make the first demand to end open grazing. We know why we are saying this. We know why we are emphasizing on open grazing. That thing has done more harm than any other thing we have ever witnessed. Security-wise, many people have lost their lives. Many farmlands have been destroyed as a result of this. COVID-19, I keep saying it, have not killed more people than what we have witnessed. The loss of life we have witnessed as a result of open grazing. You can come out and challenge me and put out the statistics. Let's see. Do you know the aftermath effect, the spillover effect of open grazing? Do you know how many people that have died because of hunger? No, do you know how many people that have died because they cannot access food? They cannot. Oh my God. Many farmlands have been rendered desolate. And that is why we are calling for the people to come out and do themselves this one service to start making them. We are not going out. The 1 million march is not a protest. So remember, this is not a protest. No, we are not protesting. I'm not interested in protest. How can I be protesting? How can I go and stand in front of my own house to protest the activities of the boy I brought into my house or I employed to serve me? It's an aberration. I am not interested in protest. We are going to make demand. The 1 million march is the march down to government house to make demand. If you don't do this, we the people will start removing you people from authority. You don't have any business being there. For 4 years, nothing to show for it. You are going to call us to tell us what you have benefited from government. You take your children to private schools. You take your people to private hospitals. You sink your own boreholes. You pay for your security down to your homes where you live and where you trade in the market. Should that be so? Everything we pay for it through our nose. Tell me one thing you say, this is what you are benefiting. Even during the COVID-19, the palliatives, if not for the intervention of individuals in our different communities, they cushioned the effect. Many people would have died. Yeah, as a result of COVID-19 that have never even smelled COVID-19 around them, but because of hunger. Thank God for those people who came and rallied around. I'm not saying that the government didn't do anything, no. But many things that we have seen the government does have a whole lot of politics. They politicize it, they blow it out of proportion. So we're asking the people, what have you benefited? Then if your answer is as good as mine, then this is the reason why you must be part of this movement. This is the very reason. We all have to be part of this movement. And I want to tell you this. Don't expect anybody to start organizing you. Start organizing yourselves where you are listening to the sound of my voice. Do you know why? I cannot come down to your market to address you. Because most of the market leaders are under the government patronage. Check it. A lot of politics are happening there. I cannot come down to your churches. Why you have not seen me come down to your churches is because a lot of bishops and archbishops and church leaders are receiving government patronages. That is why you will not see me there. Even in your immediate community, many of your traditional rulers are under government payroll. What is the hope of an ordinary man? We are talking about something that is affecting everybody, and they are not doing anything about it. They are not coming up to speak out. Come on, that is why we need to organize and say enough is enough. We want to make sure that when you make a budget for schools, we see the impact. When you make budget for health, we see the impact. Because if you compare the amount of money local governments are receiving, state governments are receiving at the end of the month, and put it at par with what they have done with it, you will see nothing. Wastage of a government. Government of wastage. They waste things, they waste on frivolities. Iruhana Nibo, motorcades, cars, exotic cars running into billions for public officers. Ever can afford their strength. But when it comes to addressing issues that affects everybody, especially the ordinary people, you will not see them there. We must fix this, and it is your responsibility. You are sabotaging yourself, you are sabotaging your community, you are sabotaging your state if you are not part of this movement. Because this will usher in the era of good governance where life matters. It's unfortunate. Human life doesn't amount to anything. You will see people gather, mob, kill somebody because he stole something that is not even worth up to 1,000 naira. But the same people will turn around and start clapping for people who have stolen their destiny. They didn't even steal 1 naira from them. They stole your they stole your life from you completely. You are just surviving. People are just surviving. People are not living here. People are just surviving. In the morning, you wake up. In the night, when you come back, you say thank God because you survived that day. People are not living. People are just there surviving. It's an aberration. And that is what we are restoring. That is why we are called People's Restoration Movement. Restoring the dignity of humanity. We want a situation where public institutions will be setting standards for private institutions. Where public schools will have a better schooling environment than private schools. We want where public hospitals, general hospitals, state hospitals should have better equipment than private hospitals. That is what we are talking about. But we are starting with anti-open grazing bill. Thank God for the leadership of Uzodin Mawala, Professor Uzodin Mawala, the president of Alibo Development Foundation, and the coalition they are building up, which is called Alibo, Coalition of Alibo Religious and Civic Society Organizations. We are looking up to them to lead this 1 million march, because they have to be in front while the people follow. The leadership of the church must be in front, because the people who are the receiving ends are their flocks, their shepherds. Their flocks that are handed over to them is being mowed down and eaten by predators in power. They should be in front. It is God's will, I must tell you. So we'll be opening up the phone lines briefly to get your submission. Call us. What we want to hear from you. What have you benefited from government? And how have government affected your life? You can call the numbers that I'll be calling out. But before then, I want to make this clear that the 1 million man march is a must. We must go to government and register our presence, at least for them to know that the people have woken up from their slumber. We register our presence. We register to the government people, the people that are serving us, that we have long been sleeping. And while we are asleep, they have made a mess of our lives. It is time to hit the brake and the reverse gear, beginning with the signing of anti-open grazing bill into law. Alibo Development Foundation has sent that drafted bill to them. What have kept them from doing that? I must tell you, many of their lives are owners of these cattle. It doesn't matter where they come from, including some of their political class in Igbo land here. Or they call Fulani. The former governor of Advert State made it clear. That's why I ask you to always subscribe to BVI Channel 1, where we'll be having all of these things in place. We don't just talk, we give you evidence. He said that a big investor, and same with many of his friends and colleagues. So that is why they are not interested. Now let me tell you, what is the benefit of having this bill signed into law? It's very simple. It will start creating jobs for our people. It will open up a new business channel for our people to strive. Our young people can go into animal feeds, cow feeds, because these things are kept in a place. Then you go in, get the feeds and supply to them. Our farmlands will be safe. We have food security. All these killings, raping of women will end. Then why are they keeping mute? Because of their personal interest. They have free field, grazing even in people's farm. So, we've said enough, because they say a word is enough for the wise. I believe that my people are wise, because we have said not just one, we have said too many. But I believe that these words are sinking in. Make sure we are spending a whole lot. We are sacrificing a whole lot to be on air. Many people are sacrificing, some people are sacrificing to make sure that this voice continue to echo like the voice in the wilderness. Make we organize ourselves now before it is too late. That is why you need to call this number 0810 4545 533. And most importantly, you call the number for mobilization. This is the number you need to call. The number for mobilization to join this movement. You can start from where you are now to start organizing people. And if you want me to come and address you in person, I will come and address you in person when you have at least a minimum of 100 to 200 persons around your community. In the yard, in the street, start organizing yourself for this purpose. Because we are all victims of the inactive government, bad governance. We are victims of that. Every one of us. So start organizing yourselves wherever you are. Because not deliverance ministry can set it up here, crusade, can say neighbor knows, hey, your business will start booming. Hey, you have miracle healing everywhere. What is more miraculous that or good employment or good business that is thriving on net? What is more miraculous than that? What is more miraculous that free medical service or at a minimum rate? What is more miraculous than that? That if you are driving on the street, you are not afraid of somebody killing you without any cause or consequences. What is more miraculous than that? Back with plenty harvest. What is more miraculous than that? That is why we are here. That is why you need to start organizing the people from where you are. Once you finish organizing, get at least a minimum of 100 to 200 persons. I will come in person, to come and address you and give you more encouragement to go out and mobilize more people. Because this is not where 2 or 3 are gathered. This is the movement of the people. And it starts with conscientizing our people. And that is what we're doing here without fear. We do it without fear. Because this voice that you are hearing is sent and speaking for our ancestors that have gone before us. We want the system to start working. It is legitimate and it's our civic right. And you have to be part of it. You don't need to be afraid. Call 080 6098 2212. I repeat, call 080 6098 2212. I'll call it again. For mobilization to join this movement and mandate, call 080 6098 2212. And for those of you who want to partner with this movement to make sure that this voice is on air, and the materials, the flyers, the posters, our tracks, we need to print it in millions. Everybody, just like we are told from the scriptures that Christ will not come the second time until his message have gone all through the lands of the world, all through the four corners of the world. The same way it is applicable here. That movement, that 1 million march will not hold until this message sinks, soaks everywhere. Everybody, it will be on the lips of everybody. Everybody will be demanding it. And if you are not hearing it from your pulpit, take it to your church. Go and meet your church leaders, your pastors, your reverend fathers, your okochuku, your bishops and that. Go, any one of them you can meet. Take it to your church. Take it to your community. Take it to the market. The least you can do is tell them to listen to this program every Monday morning from 11 to 12 noon. Only in one station. From Odenibo FM 99.1. Ogenendibo. Or you go and follow us on our social media platform. Many people are watching. BVI Channel 1, where we tell you raw truth, unadulterated truth. We speak the truth without fear. We tell you the truth. We see it, we say it. They know us. They know what we represent. They know the mandate we carry. It is left for you to be part of it. This is one opportunity for the people to fix this failed government. The government have failed. Now, the lines to call to be part of this program very briefly. You have to be very brief in your calls. It's straight on point. 070-194-78850. Or you call 070-381-55515. We'll take your calls. Please ensure, help us be very brief and straight on point. Tell us what you have benefited from government. Let us get your submissions. Hello? Hello?
Hello, my brother.
Yeah, the caller on phone. Where are you calling from? Your name?
Okay, this is Bishop Dales from Awada in North, local government area.
Okay. Bishop, sorry if I may ask, are you pastoring a church?
No.
Okay, but you have a congregation around you.
Definitely.
Start mobilizing them. That is what we are after. Then tell us, what have you benefited from government?
See, if this is the thing we're talking now, I will talk from now to what you had to put in here. Only thing is that it's high time we start mobilizing people and forge ahead. It's the right time I will say no to all these bank commanders. So understand me?
Good. Now,
Because of time, I may like to maybe hear or see you maybe after this program. We will not have time to analyze whatever thing we have in mind accordingly.
just start mobilizing your area. You can call that number I call 08060982212. This is the number to call to be part of it.
I've got the number before, then I thought I should call you back now. I'll be in the studio now.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much. That's what we're after. We need to start mobilizing because there is no time. No time to waste time. We have talked too much. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you, bro.
That is what we're talking about. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Your name and where you're calling from.
I don't know whether you can hear this, but that was so bad.
Continue. The world can hear you. Go.
What I'm saying is this. Since I was born, I don't have done anything for this government. And I want Nigeria government, the one we are in now is the world. So I will begin to mobilize people. Because what we are seeing here, if we just use, these people feel like we don't know anything. I want to encourage you for your, I want to thank you for encouragement. Because the wisdom that we are so strong, God will bless you for giving this chance to go for air and begin to say what you are talking now. I thank you so much for encouraging.
Where are you calling us from? What's your name?
I'm from the Delta State. I'm from
Start mobilizing your community immediately. Good. Start mobilizing your people. Thank you very much. Good. That is what we want. Hello? Hello, your name and where you calling from? All right. Go ahead. Proceed. Ganiru. My brother, Ayepugifa, this is the second month and we will continue. This is the movement of the people and you have nothing to fear. This is the civic right. It is our right. This is not hate speech. This is the advocacy for good governance. Let it be called hate speech. When I say government, you have failed to fix our roads. Let it be called hate speech. When I tell government to fix our schools, let it be hate speech. When I say our hospitals must be working, that is what the people must stand up for. And that is why you need to start mobilizing your area immediately. There's no time.
Okay.
Agwago ngeva. Ekwugo m ife akwụnye a lot time because all ụjọ dị ndị mmadụ. Ife anyị na-eme ezili ezi n'iwu, iwu nyere anyị ikike ime ife anyị na-eme. Like I said today, ihe anyị na-eme abụrụ protest. We are not even protesting. We are marching down to the government house to make a demand. We are not protesting. How can we be protesting against those who we employ to serve us? It's an aberration. We are demanding for them to do us the service which they claim we gave them the mandate to. It's a simple thing. So you don't need to be afraid of anything, including the security operatives. They are victims of what we're talking about. They are listening to this. Even the police, the army. How many of them can take their children to private schools or send their children abroad? How many of them have the money to feed their children properly? How many of them can say of a fact that if they are sick, they can get good medical service? We have seen so many of them that have died in the course of serving this country, and yet their children have been abandoned. Their families are suffering. This is what we want to fix. It is for the entirety of humanity. There is no cause for fear. We are out for this. It is once and for all. So start mobilizing your area.
Thank you very much.
My dear, we are not wasting time on this. We are not dwelling on this for too long. Start doing the needful. Start mobilizing your area. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Sorry about that. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Your name and where you calling from? Go ahead with the submission, please.
Yeah, I must appreciate what you're doing, but the reason why much of those years in this part of the country, especially the people have today, is because it's our own people that go ahead to prescribe us for nothing. Let me give you this information. At this important now, there is a heavy presence of security men. I don't know what they are looking for. I don't know what they...
My dear, listen and listen very clearly. We are saying it and we make bold to say it. You don't need to be afraid. Am I afraid and I'm speaking? Do you think that they don't know that we are here? Do you think they are not listening to the sound of my voice? This is part of your civic right, my people. It is part of your right to ask your government, government to do the right thing. We are not here to agitate for anything other than to fix the government. We are here to fix our hospitals, to fix our schools, to make sure that you go out and come back safe without somebody killing you, without any consequences. That is what we're talking about. And I said it time and over. So we don't need to dwell on that. We have to live above that fear. Okay? We have to live above that fear. We are not here to arouse your emotions and your frustration. We know that already. What we are here to do is to organize the people and make the government to work. Thank you very much. So what you need to do is to start mobilizing your area.
Let me conclude by saying that we are going to do as a state because we already for here. They have already put us into a mess and there are a lot of frustration.
That is what we're talking about. That's all we need from you. Start mobilizing and start calling the number. Thank you very much because the other callers are calling it. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning, my mother.
Go ahead, my brother. Your name and where you're calling from.
Well, what I want to say this morning is that there are both started in any issue. In this country, people have agitated for their rights and being taken. Why those who say AK-47 are being parading around? And if they not the record, they will become a dependent Boko Haram. Why am unarmed protesters are being killed? Why?
My dear, we cannot continue asking this question. We cannot continue.
I want to tell you, I even ready. I've been telling my people about all these things that is happening. We are ready to go out. 1 million man, we are going to go out. I must be part of it.
Start mobilizing your area. It is very important. What people don't know is that when we have 1 million men on the street, when we have 1 million people on the street demanding for one thing, to sign into law anti-open grazing, let me see the security operatives. Are they not victims of the same process? So we are saying that everybody, including security operatives, to join this march because they are also, their families and their children are victims of a failed government. When your government is not working, when your educational sector is not working, when your children cannot secure jobs, when you can, oh my God, where will you start from? Even taking your children into university, you pay through your nose. You pay through your nose, you bribe your way out to get your child to go into university. And when the person has come out from the university after so many years of your struggle and your sweat, you still need to pay more to bribe your way to secure job for your children. Tell me, how long will it continue like this? It is because the people have been cowed. They have been broken. The soul of the society have been broken. That the people have given up. But we are waking up that spirit because our ancestors are speaking from the sound of the voice you are hearing. The number to call, because we'll be wrapping this program any moment from now, the number to call to get mobilized, to join this movement and this mandate to fix our society, to restore back the dignity of humanity and make our system and governance to start working. Call 08060982212. 08060982212. For those of you who are interested to partner and keep this voice rolling on air, you can call our sponsorship line 0810 4207522. For our sponsorship line 0810 4207522. I want to appreciate every one of you who have called in. We appreciate you. We'll be back again next week, same time, 11 a.m. to 12 noon on one and only radio station Odenibo FM 99.1. And those of you who are watching from the social media platform or our YouTube page and also on Odenibo FM website, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you all. Join me tomorrow on a live broadcast on BVI Channel 1 by 6 to 7 tomorrow and on Friday where we do Matters Arising. God bless you. Stay safe and above all, stay blessed. Goodbye. Nam, what pigeons ready? Well, God bless.